You're ready to go.
All right, so epic fail. Happy New Year. It's the final show of the year. It's the weekly rant. I'm Jimmy alongside Steve.
Yo.
How's
Sorry.
how's it been going since the past couple of days?
Been going all right. I'm having a blast. How are you doing?
Good. Christmas was good.
That's good. What'd you get?
I got tidy whities. I got swimmies. I got a new pair of socks. Actually, the MC from the show, if you guys saw the road show, my brother-in-law Mario got us a new microphone, which we're hoping is going to actually work out pretty well here. Anyways, so it really worked out nicely. We have that going for us.
Thank you, Mario.
Yeah.
We actually have a live studio audience today. We have a few people here. If they want to say hello. All right, that's enough. That's enough. All right, that's
Take it off.
And so that's our New Year's crowd right there. Anyways, so got a lot going on now that the regular season's over. If you want to jump into this rundown here.
Sure. There's going to be no Dolphins playoffs as the Jets end the Dolphins season.
I know. That's so bad.
Sorry.
The Jets got a very, very important win to lead them to the playoffs.
Wait, nope, that didn't happen either.
Giants defeated the Redskins.
And as any Giants fan believes, they actually made the playoffs. Wait, sorry. We got Black Monday today. 5 head coaches got fired to go along with Gary Kubiak making 6. We'll talk about that.
And you left this one for me.
Yes, I did.
As we said in previous weeks that we will be talking about NHL 94 mode. Steve had defeated me twice as the Coyotes both scores 8-6. We'll break that down later, not so much.
We'll debate our debate of the last debate of 2013. What is the top story of 2013?
In sports, of course.
Oh, well.
And Belmore native Weidman defeats.
Do you know his first name?
Yeah, Chris.
Oh, good. Can you spell
Sorry.
with the? Can
you know what
spell
it is? I don't know if they talk about themselves as the last names or what.
Well, we'll talk to Bobby Bajabi from It's Amazing.
Yes,
about
thank
the
you
fight
so much
at
for coming on
8:40.
again. This is going to be great having him calling in from California. Fantastic. Chris Weidman retains a belt over Anderson Silva in UFC 168 in a gruesome injury.
Ooh, yeah. We'll talk about the AFC and NFC playoff picture, what's in store for the 12 teams remaining.
And the Super Bowl predictions. We'll break that down as well. My predictions have gone terribly wrong all year long, but I think I got this one locked up.
You know, my prediction from August 22nd is still in place. So I mean,
your predictions have been the coin, not you.
No, my actual predictions of who is going to win the Super Bowl.
All right,
we'll talk about that later. And last but not least, we got, Jimmy's rant. Moving on.
Thanks.
I'm kidding.
Throw that one out the window.
I'm sure it's going to be a good rant. And if you want to call in at any point, 609-975-9689. That's 609-975-9689. You can find us on Facebook.com/Jimmy Rants. You can find us on YouTube at YouTube.com/Jimmy's Rants. You can find us at Jimmy's Rants at gmail.com. And last but not least, if you want to tweet us, whatever that means, Twitter.com/Jimmy's Rants, hashtag Jimmy's Rants. Oh, you know, I had a conversation.
Or TWR.
Or TWR. You know, I had a conversation today about how horrible hashtags were. What's your thought on hashtags?
I don't have much of a thought at all because I'm lacking on using the whole Twitter account. I'm having so much trouble working this whole social media networking with Twitter. I can't get into it. I really can't.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Tough.
All right, so let's go into the Jets. The Jets walk away with an 8-8 season and a head coach for next year in Rex Ryan, defeating the Miami Dolphins 20-7, in which Geno Smith actually looked like a good quarterback. I know. I'm getting way ahead of myself here, so please don't yell at me for that.
Three games in a row. He has not had a turnover.
I know. And he really was rushing the ball well. He had that nice touchdown, and he's really getting out of trouble. He really looks like he's going to make the jump into a mediocre quarterback next year.
That's well said. Well said. He almost eclipsed the 200-yard mark again for the third week in a row as well. They let him throw the ball. He had 27 attempts, and that's nice. I think the biggest news actually out of this game, Rex Ryan. Mm-hmm. Having him coming back, release the news to players after the game. Woody Johnson came down and pulled to Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones is always in the Cowboys locker room. We'll break the game down as well. But Jerry Jones is always in the locker room after the game. Woody Johnson is never seen around the locker room, ever. He finally came down.
Especially a road locker room.
Yeah, that's true. And when he came down, they just told him, look, he's coming back. He knew before the game that he was coming back. But the players allegedly didn't know. Of course, some of the players knew. I got to say, probably Sanchez knew.
Well, because he's getting cut.
Oh, yeah. Holmes probably knew. Ivory probably knew. He's sticking around.
You just named 2 players who are getting cut.
That's it. They did look good, though. Rushing yards, 154. Their big number was no turnovers. Yep. That's their biggest number.
And D. Milner had a great game in the secondary. He's had a horrible season. He really turned it around. He was really showing that he really deserved the 9th overall pick. And they're going to cut Cromartie in the offseason most likely, so they're going to rely on him to be the top cornerback next year.
Well, Tannehill was going after him just the entire first half.
And then they made that diving interception off that throw to Wallace. I mean, the big thing for the Dolphins was Brian Hartline getting hurt in the second quarter. When he went down, Tannehill had nothing to throw to because they just blanketed Wallace, and Ricard Matthews really wasn't much of a factor anyway.
Yeah, and he actually had some good numbers. But that was the key combination that we had mentioned, especially me. I had mentioned during the show over at Old Tree on December 1st that down this stretch of the next 6 games for the Dolphins to make the playoffs, it's going to be Tannehill and Hartline. And like you just said, him being out of the game, you knew they were going to throw to Wallace, and that was it. And guess what? They had him double covered the entire time.
You know, it's sad that the Dolphins had basically a 95% chance of making the playoffs. And
Sorry.
They lost to the Bills and the Dolphins.
Taking some audience abuse.
And you know what's incredible? The Chargers, who actually, by Vegas odds, after Week 15, after beating the Broncos, had a 3% chance of making the playoffs. Made the playoffs because the Dolphins or Ravens both lost. But you know what's actually horrible about that? The fact that they should never have had the opportunity to win that game. The refs blew a call on the Chiefs game, which the Chiefs
because
should
the new
legal
rule,
formation.
Exactly, stating that you no longer can have 7 players lined up on the line. You got to have 6 on one side at a max.
So if I was a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, I would hate myself anyway if I rooted for the Steelers. I'd be feeling pretty miserable today because my team had a shot at the playoffs, and the refs basically took it away.
Their whole problem is, you started 0-4. Complain all you want. It is what it is.
Yeah, but they were the team that should have rightfully made the playoffs, and unfortunately the refs took that away. And if the Jets could have not laid an egg to the Bills or the Dolphins in weeks 10 and 11.
They laid a major egg against the Bills.
Yeah.
The Bills played unbelievably.
Well, the Jets went to Dave & Buster's, and they were hungover from the night before, probably.
That's true. I'll tell you that, actually, the one team of all that deserved being there, the Packers maybe, but I got to say the Chargers.
Yeah, they worked really hard.
They came in, they had 4 wins in a row.
They did.
They came in with some serious motivation within their locker room, and they pulled out a great win, really great win to get themselves into the playoff.
I'm sorry for interrupting, but I just noticed we have some new toys in front of us.
Yes, we have awards that were given to us by our local fans. These are microphone awards that were given to us.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank my mother and my father for the opportunity to be an awesome talk show host on the weekly Rant with Jimmy and Steve. Oh, sorry.
I'd like to thank myself.
Okay. Moving on.
A couple of new props here. We got some Super Bowl gifts sent to us here. New York, New Jersey Super Bowl cups.
Do you know what Super Bowl this is, Jimmy?
Yeah, I do. XLVIII.
Do you know what that means in Roman numerals, Jimmy?
Nope.
All right, 48.
I speak English, not Roman.
Fair.
Whoops. Anyways.
I think we're going to have to give executive producer credits after the show.
Who hired us to do this?
I don't know, but we'll talk more about the AFC playoff picture later.
NFC playoff picture. Let's bring in our New York Giants.
You said playoff picture, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so why are we talking about this team? Yep. The Giants beat the Redskins 20-6, in which I didn't actually watch any of the game because for the 4th time since 2008, the Jets and Giants played at the exact same time. So, quite frankly, Jets are a little more important to me.
I actually watched more of the Jets game than the Giants
because you were hoping you were going to be right on one of your debates.
Oh, it was looking so good. It was looking so... Everything was playing out perfectly. The Bengals were taking care of business. At the time, the Chargers were losing, which really wouldn't...
The Chargers were in the afternoon game.
All right, well...
Doesn't make a difference.
No, it doesn't make a difference. Nope. They actually ended up starting to lose, and they won. Either way, really great. Again, they won a great game. So the Bengals were taking care of business. Ravens were keeping it close. Mm-hmm. They were keeping it close. But it was 7-0, and then it was 7-3. I believe, for... Was it 7-3 or was it 7-7?
7-7.
7-7. But it was nothing after the first quarter, I thought.
It was a very boring first quarter.
Yeah. And I saw 7-0. I says, this is... Both teams were looking great. So I was kind of happy when I saw the 7-0. I said, you know what? Going home field advantage. The Jets typically do not play well in Miami. And I believe the last time that they celebrated just like they did last night was actually after they won the Super Bowl, which was in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
Sounds about right.
Anyways, but we're talking about the Giants. Giants won 20-6. They finished their season 7-9. No one expected that. No one expected that at all. You can't even tell me you expected that.
No, I did not. I expect them to go 0-16 actually. So I heard Eli got hurt. Did he come back?
Who cares? Who cares? I don't. Everybody got hurt. Everybody got hurt because they all said, "Screw it, I don't want to play anymore."
Fair enough.
That's the way I look at it. Redskins. I didn't even think the Redskins would be 3-13.
I did. Mike Shanahan does not have a job anymore.
Nope, gone.
And
Shanahan's gone. Is Kirk Cousins gone?
They better get something from him because he can't sit behind RG3 for one more year.
Will Kirk Cousins become a New York Jet?
No.
You don't think so?
I mean, the Jets do have 12 picks next year, so it's very possible they do make a trade like that, but I don't think that the Jets would acquire Kirk Cousins to have competition with Geno Smith. They're going to have someone to compete with Geno Smith. They're going to sign a Josh McCown or a veteran quarterback who can step in there and not be long-term if they really think Geno Smith's going to be the future for them.
McCown's not young.
McCown's 34.
And yes, he's a free agent because of that ridiculous contract that we spoke about last episode. But why not go for Cousins over McCown?
Because McCown's a free agent and Cousins you have to trade a draft pick for. So why give up someone who could be a part of your core in the future for someone you can just sign with your free agent dollars? And like I said before, the Jets, after they cut Cromartie, Holmes, and Sanchez, will have $48 million available. You need someone for a year or two. You're not going to expect to build out of Kirk Cousins. You know what? I didn't like what I saw out of Kirk Cousins either. He really hasn't been that impressive. Maybe that one start last year he looked pretty good, but this year, I mean, he's looked mediocre at best. He had that horrible start yesterday against the Giants. He threw, 160 yards, 2 interceptions? He never threw a touchdown. He looked pathetic. He's got receivers on his team, too. He's got Pierre Garçon. He's got Fred Davis. He's got everything going for him. So,
now what about John Kitna? He came back.
Yeah,
you think he's going to be available for the Jets? He actually, his salary from last night, he ended up donating the entire $53,000 and change to the school that he teaches at. He's a math teacher down in, I think...
Dallas.
Is it Dallas?
Yeah.
Oddly enough.
Well, that's why it's so easy for him to come.
And he still has, I think it was like the Seattle phone number or something like that he ended up calling...
my handwriting sucks. Don't worry about it.
Anyways, so... oh, by the way, news I had heard today, this is a complete sidetrack.
Really? You want a sidetrack? That's surprising.
Right away. I heard today that there was a guy from Calgary, Canada, for those of you who don't know where Calgary is, playing golf in Florida. Now, he's retired, and what he had done was is playing golf in Florida. He won the lottery. He won the Canadian lottery, $40 million. He got a phone call while he was on the golf course. In American dollars, it was $37.5 million. So, he goes back to Canada, doesn't tell his family, doesn't tell his kids, doesn't tell anybody. Turns out he ends up donating the entire $40 million to various charities. A portion of that he ends up setting up as a trust fund for his kids. But what he did for that trust fund for the kids was he set up in a trust fund specifically set for charities for the kids to decide where they're going to go. He came onto the radio saying, I've worked my entire life. I did very well for myself. I don't need this $40 million. I don't have $1 million, but you know what? There's other people that need this money than me. And dispersed it amongst a bunch of different charities.
How many loonies and toonies did he give away?
I don't know, but what he did was he donated $1.2 million to Cancer Research Fund. Come on, this is a great story. Yeah, I'm sitting there, my jaw dropped, like I would die for that money. But
maybe he donated to the Human Fund.
And how was Festivus, by the way?
Festivus was awesome.
not talking Giants football at all right now.
Is there a reason as to why? I was just told, though, I have to be nicer to Kirk Cousins. Actually, it's Bobby, our guest, in a few minutes. I have to be nicer to Kirk Cousins just in case he's actually listening, because I'm being super mean to him. Kirk Cousins, if you're listening, come on the air with us next week, and we'll be glad to have you.
Oh, please, that'd be fantastic. So Eli, surprise, throws an interception.
Is he okay? I heard he got hurt.
Who cares if he's all right?
Is he okay?
I don't really care.
He's the quarterback of the future for the Giants.
Oh, my God, I hope he's not. God, I hope he's not.
Where do you think the Giants are going from here? I heard today that Coughlin and Mara both want Coughlin to stay. Shocking.
Yeah, Coughlin's going to stay. That's how I feel. I'm going to take the same stand as I did with Girardi before he was told that he was going to stay. I really think Coughlin's going to stay. I think, what is he, 67 years old?
68,
68 now? All right. He will be the head coach as long as Jerry Jones is going to be the owner of the Cowboys, in which he said he'll be there for the next 20 years at 91 years old. Or until he dies.
Yeah. You don't think that's a stressful job being the owner and general manager of the Cowboys?
That must suck.
That must be horrible.
One playoff appearance in 17 years.
Oh. It's not one playoff win in 17 years. It's win. Because they make it to the playoffs every year, it seems like, and then lose in the first round because Romo chokes. And Kyle Orton, Tony Romo, same difference.
So, it's the same people. It doesn't matter. Just one has longer hair than the other. Jernigan is a great receiver for them. Mm-hmm. Jernigan had rushing yards for the Giants. He had rushing yards this game. That was great. Jernigan's going to come back. I hope they don't spew out money for him. I really hope they don't spew out money and give him a monster contract.
Jernigan?
Yeah.
He's a free agent?
No. When he comes back, because you look at him now, he came and he played just unbelievably for the last 3 games of the season. All right, now they're looking, he may want to say, extend me. Give me some sort of contract. He outperformed every Giant on the entire team. And down the stretch, they finished the season winning 2 games in a row. Let him go. Keep the way it is. He's right now one of their biggest targets that they want to keep, for sure. Again, he's not a free agent this year, but he's one player they're going to keep focusing on. Wilson, same thing. He's not a free agent either. However, the Giants do have, I think it's 30-some-odd players who are up for free agency. So you're going to see a lot of new players next year and for the future.
You want to hear something? I read a story today which actually relates to this game, so I'm not going off tangent like you did.
That's all right.
Les Snead, the general manager of the St. Louis Rams, and Jernell Jernigan went to the same high school. And so Snead is watching Jernigan beat the Redskins, giving the Rams the 2nd overall pick. So how's that for high school? So you're saying
the Rams may want to get involved in picking up on Jernigan?
Yes. They went to the same high school.
And hello, Steven Jackson.
Yeah.
So the Giants' next game is actually going to be
2014.
Yep. So the Jets.
So how did it feel watching the Cowboys and Eagles last night, watching 2 teams compete for the NFC East, where it should have been the Giants? Granted, I picked the Redskins to win the NFC East.
All right, from a broadcaster's point of view.
Wait, when did you call yourself a broadcaster?
I'm speaking for you.
Okay, thank you.
From a broadcaster's point of view, like the Bears-Packers game, great game.
It was.
Great game. I had mentioned that the Packers-Bears game was going to be great. I also said the Bears were going to win, as they should have won. That was terrible.
I was just pointed out by Ed in the audience that every team's next game is in 2014.
Oh.
And somewhere, minds exploded. Thank you, Ed.
The Giants next game with the Jets next game next season.
And the Packers and the Eagles, all their games are 2014.
Anyway, I hate you, Ed. Yeah, it was a great game. I was thrilled to not see Romo out there. I was so happy.
Were you thrilled to watch Orton throw an interception, just like Romo-esque?
I was in my kitchen actually just cleaning up, and I came around the corner. And I said to myself, "Wow, this could be a really big play." And of course, I came around the corner. And I looked. What was his name? Beasley.
Beasley.
No.
Oh, Boykin.
It's close, but you got what I meant. Boykin made an interception on a ball that should not have been thrown where it was thrown. It was behind the receiver.
It sounds like Eli Manning's season.
Oh, absolutely. Every year. That's how I don't want to get into it.
You know, I was listening to the radio of the game, and they were talking in the second quarter about how the best part about Kyle Orton playing was that he was actually going to listen to the play calls from Jason Garrett and not change a run into a pass at the last second.
Wow. Wow.
These announcers were brutal to Tony Romo all game.
Did you see what Kitna said?
No.
I hope Orton stays healthy because I don't want to go in there. Sure as hell Cowboys fans don't want to see me go in there.
It's true. 41-year-old math teacher.
But he called up Garrett and said, hey, look, get in touch with Jones because if you need me, I'm available. I'm ready. They called him. Come on down. No problem.
Is he going to? Oh, he's not in the playoffs. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, he's starting. Yeah, exactly.
In 2014.
All right, so let's
Black Monday?
Black Monday.
All right.
Black Monday is today.
Let's just not say your first name on that list.
Not yet.
Nope.
Not yet. And
Not yet.
That name on the list is Mike Munchak. We don't know yet what's going on. I'll double check that as we.
He's not fired yet. He'll be fired sometime later this week. I just saw that article earlier.
Okay.
But 5 coaches so far have been fired, along with Gary Kubiak, to make the total 6. This year, we saw Mike Shanahan of the Washington Redskins get canned a year removed of a playoff berth. We saw Leslie Frazier, and I really was hoping to see a headline somewhere that says "Down goes Frazier" after he got fired. But
that would have been very fitting. That would have been very fitting. Now that's a good job to have.
That is a good job,
for whoever's going to come in. That's going to be a good job.
I mean, the only problem is they're going to have to draft a quarterback in the first round, so they'll get a Johnny Manziel, Teddy Bridgewater, or David Carr's younger brother. I forgot his name, but whatever.
I really hope Manziel fails in the NFL.
Why?
I can't stand him.
Do you think he's the anti-Tebow?
I think
he has the same amount of talent in the NFL, but the demon of Tim Tebow's Christ. Well, I just said that on the air.
My pen just broke.
So you're right for not giving me a clicky pen.
I can't stand Manziel. He's cocky. He's thick-headed. Mr. I want. Yeah, what?
Keep going.
He's a piece of garbage, is what he is.
He's a good quarterback.
No, he's not. Have you ever seen him throw the ball? Come on, he can't throw to save his life. He looks like Tim Tebow. He looks like whoever comes in, they're gonna have to work with him just like Tim Tebow. I don't know. I mean, it's college football. He plays a West Coast offense, and he still can't get the fundamentals of throwing the ball down the field the correct way. He's got tunnel vision. You can see when you're watching a play, when he snaps the ball, immediately he's watching his receiver who he's throwing to. It's not going to fly in the NFL. That's just not going to fly. I don't like Manziel. He has got some great numbers. He is the typical great collegiate athlete. I think he's not going to succeed in the NFL. And guess what? I'm not the only person who thinks that.
Well, I'm glad. And we'll have a draft expert on when it comes closer to draft time.
Good.
But there's a few other coaches that got fired. Jim Schwartz in Detroit. He won't be shaking anyone's hands anymore. If you remember that from last year with Jim
Harbaugh. Yeah, Jim Harbaugh. Yeah.
Rob Chudzinski, the Cleveland Browns head coach, who Jimmy has documented his travels throughout the NFL so far. And last but not least, Greg Schiano of Tampa Bay, who people thought he was going to save his job after that 4-game winning streak middle of the season, but apparently his wanting to be at Penn State led to his firing.
Yeah, he's gonna come back, and I'll tell you what, who's gonna go back. I think Schiano's going back to college.
Oh, he absolutely is.
Yeah, I think he's going back. He didn't fare so well when he was at Rutgers. He only finished 1 game over 500.
Yeah, but he had some shitty teams for a while.
He did, and playing with Rutgers, their biggest game was probably the Pinstripe Bowl, but he was never even involved in that.
No.
And
but they're going to Rutgers are now going to the Big Ten, so they're a legitimate team now. Same with Maryland.
Now,
where I went to school.
But how's that going to fare for them when he was coaching? Who cares where you went to school? When he was coaching, he was 20 games under 500 in conference games. Mm-hmm. Now that's what college football.
Well, he was in the Big East. That was a tough conference back then. They were not good when he started. He took a team that was crappy and made it good.
Okay, well he came to the NFL and he finished 10 games under 500.
Well, again, bad team.
Yeah, he had Josh Freeman last year. Come on. Team record. We go over this almost every episode.
I know.
So yeah, it's a big day. There's going to be a lot more firings, of course. That's what Black Monday is all about.
A lot of assistant head coaches. You think Kevin Gilbride gets the boot soon?
I hope so. I freaking hope so. Him and
where do you think's the best situation though? I mean, we'll include Houston because that's also a pretty big job. Where do you think's the best place?
I'm going to say Minnesota. Their defense, middle of the pack. One player, Adrian Peterson. You can clearly build a team around him. Get yourself a nice quarterback. They're going to draft pretty high. I think they're 9th.
I think they're around there.
I think they're 9th. They're going to get a decently good quarterback. You put the quarterback with Adrian Peterson, and again, with their defense that they have, their special teams was great this year.
Yeah, Cordell Patterson's is a beast.
Yeah.
He's going to be the next Devin Hester,
who
can catch the ball.
I think that's where the top coaching spot is going to be, is Minnesota. What do you think?
At first I thought it was Houston and Minnesota, but the more I think about it, I think Detroit is the best place to go. They have Megatron. They have the best receiver in the game. They have Reggie Bush. They have a horrible defense, but they can find someone to coach that up.
Well, they have a defensive coordinator who's probably going to get fired as well.
Yes, as he should.
Yeah.
But they have a good line. Matt Stafford, his for some reason, he forgot how to throw at the end of the season.
Yeah, that's going to turn around.
That's going to turn around. They have a great offense, and I think they're going to be pretty good in the future. So I like Detroit's job. I mean, they have everything is great about them except for their defense. They can get a coach to do it. I'm just glad Rex Ryan's not among the coaches who are fired.
Yeah, you know what? If there was now this is not going to be a part of the debate as far as coaching positions, but I'll be honest with you, Rex Ryan staying with the Jets, great move.
Absolutely, great move.
Great move. I can't stand the Jets. I can't. It's not the Jets team or the players per se.
It's
their
the
organization. Fans. I hate their organization. They're a mockery to the NFL. But you know what?
You're a mockery to the NFL.
You're a mockery to the show.
Awesome.
Now, however, though, Rex Ryan staying in New York is great. And the cool thing is, for all those Jets fans out there, you'll know what I'm talking about, like yourself. When he came in to what he's done now, granted they've gone downhill, you've seen him transform over the years. And what he is now, to me, it's what you want to coach.
Yes.
It really is. It's nice to have that confidence booster, that buddy as a coach for the team. That's nice. Look how he was yesterday. I mean, running up and down the sidelines like a little schoolgirl. Look, not for nothing. In a way, I would love to have that on my team. I really would, because that gets the players going. To see the coach acting like that, like, hey, he's one of us. Let's keep going, and it makes for a great bond.
So, before we move on to our debate, let me just get this straight. You just compared a little schoolgirl to a bunch of football players.
No, I compared Rex Ryan to a little schoolgirl.
And then one of us, that little schoolgirl.
You.
Okay. Moving on. Our last debate of 2000.
No, we got something before the debate.
No, we don't. Oh, I'm sorry. I
should have let it go. I should have let it go.
How could I forget? How can I forget? Let me just announce this quickly. At Festivus, after the show last week, we decided to play 2 games of NHL 2014.
Best of 3.
That's what we'll call it. Phoenix Coyotes, which was me, and the Washington Capitals with
suicide selection.
Yeah. 8-6 was the final both times. And I've never seen Jimmy get so into a game. He was screaming and crying. Yes, I saw tears. Crying after every goal that I scored, considering I lost, 15-10 the week before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was great.
That was great. Let's move on, though, because, I'm not going to go too much about the fact that I kicked the crap out of you twice.
Thanks, because I'll get the rebuttal tonight.
All righty. Debate of
Whoa,
hey now. That's
preemptive. Let's not comment.
No.
All right, so the debate. I'm going to let you start this one. I've started the past few. Top sports story of the year 2013. I have my list. You dare to look over, you get the microphone in your face. What do you think? What's the top story?
Right. Top story of 2013. I saw your list, and your list is depressing. Whoa. That's just awful. Mine's a feel-good story of 2013. Mariano Rivera of the New York Yankees retiring, and the tribute he got from stadium to stadium, as well as Derek Jeter and Andy Pettitte coming out at the end of the beginning of the 9th inning to take him out of the game for his last appearance. You know what? Like I said last year about Chipper Jones, these are people that were so important to the game of baseball. They were true gentlemen, and they were really great athletes. And for them to go out that way, this is the way it should be. It's not a horrible story like Aaron Hernandez going to jail or even Manti Te'o with a fake girlfriend.
Stop.
This is This is about a true professional and his final send-off. And you know what? What I think about closers, because I think that's a horribly overrated position, and my thoughts about the Yankees, in which I think they're horrible human beings. But the way they treated Mariano Rivera is with class, and I was very happy to see all of that, including the All-Star Game tribute that the Mets fans gave him.
This is not going to be a debate. I think this is going to be a discussion / debate. God help you if you state one wrong fact about Mariano as the Met fan that you are, the Yankee fan that I am, and I'm only going the way I'm going right now because you're saying Mariano. You mentioned feel-good story of the year. I'm going to combine two of the biggest sports stories of 2013. I'm going to combine the ever so depressing and very, very unfortunate event of the bombing in Boston during the marathon. That was a real big story of the year. Again, unfortunately so. However, combining for another story was the Red Sox winning the World Series in light of the bombing. Cringes me to mention the Red Sox in anything good. But you know what? If you really think about it, that's what that town needed. I really hate to say it. I'm not going to stress it enough. The Red Sox winning the 3 World Series in 10 years... That's great. But this year, they had a bombing. That was just ever so tragic for that city, for the whole country at that. The Red Sox come out, they prevail, they win the World Series. It was a very touching moment for the entire team, the entire organization, for the fans, for the families who were involved in the unfortunate event of the bombing. I think that was the story of the year.
Congratulations, Jimmy. You just won your first debate.
What, due to sympathy?
It's like Teddy Roosevelt in the presidential race in D.C. He's got to win sometime.
You know what? All right. How about this?
Let's just talk about more.
Yeah, I was going to say, bring up a few more.
Let's talk about a few more. We got the Alabama-Auburn Iron Bowl game.
Son of a bitch.
I know. Isn't that great when I'm...
No, I fell down again.
Oh, and actually, this brings up a good time. The Jimmy and Steve Weight Loss Challenge will begin next week. If you want to talk to us about it, you can email us at jimmysrants@gmail.com, 609-975-9689. We'll have ground rules on our Facebook page in the upcoming days at facebook.com/JimmyRants. And if you want to, that's basically it for now. But the Alabama-Auburn Iron Bowl game was one for the ages. Probably the best Iron Bowl in a long time, in which Chris Davis is, 100-yard run back, because in college they don't count those 9 extra yards in the end zone. Field goal return for a touchdown to win the game, sending Auburn to the national championship. That's a pretty damn good story for the year.
Now, we were actually watching that game at our friend Ed's house.
Our executive producer for tonight.
Well, that's right, when it had happened. To go up against that story, which I love. That's why I have it written down here. I love it. Let's break out the Aaron Rodgers, what he did last night. Really, let's think about that one. Especially the fact that they had a tie, and they're still going to the playoffs, finishing one game over 500 aside from the tie. Aaron Rodgers comes back. Hey, guess what? You guys want to go to the playoffs? Yeah, I'll start tonight. I'll suit up. Boom. Here we go. Playing against 49ers. I love this matchup. Classic playoff football matchup. 49ers at the Packers. Gotta love what Aaron Rodgers did coming back. Yeah, he had 2 interceptions early in the game, one of which was not his fault. That was a deflection off of Nelson's hands. I love it. I love it. I love the fact that Rodgers is back. And we'll discuss our opinions on what's going to happen in the playoffs, because it definitely changes now that Rodgers is back.
You know, that tie actually helped them, because they were supposed to lose that game to the Vikings, and Matt Flynn brought them back. But, you know, I think another top story of 2013, in a softball game this year, I had 2 home runs opposite field over 300 feet. Come on. I can't play baseball for shit, and I hit 2 home runs in a game. That's pretty damn impressive. I take that back about you winning. I think I
Well, no one cares about you, per se, but I'll tell you what, to beat that story, people care about us. October 1st, 2013, the weekly Rant started. That's the feel-good story of the year for us.
It's Make-A-Wish Foundation's dream come true.
Okay, you win the entire debate for that one. I like that.
Oh, that was just sad. But December 1st was actually a really big deal for us. We had our first live show.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have something big in a couple weeks actually.
Yeah.
February 2nd, we're gonna be having a Super Bowl
This is our news that we've been telling people we're going to release, by the way.
And we don't have an exact time yet, but we know the time frame. On February 2nd, we're going to be guests at the 9/11 First Responders Remembered Super Bowl breakfast kickoff, or Super Bowl kickoff breakfast, doing about a 45 to an hour spot on the show at Croxley's in Smithtown. It should be between 11 and 12, maybe 11:30 to 12:30. We'll figure it out, and we'll let you know more details as it comes. But mark that date off in your calendar, February 2nd. Jimmy and Steve will be going on the road yet again.
That's it. Looking for a really great show there as well. Big turnout. Again, it's good. It's for a great cause, too. For, like you said, the 9/11 cause there. And, hey, it's Super Bowl Sunday as well. So it's great to see that ever since we had started back on October 1st, we got a couple of road shows under our belt. We've now gone as far as having our first Super Bowl show here. We got a lot going for us. Again, the people have given us a couple of awards, which is nice. We got a couple of nice ones here. We've had so much as getting some Mets memorabilia throughout the year as well for giveaways.
We've had some shows we've done some appearances at Ranger games, Islander games.
Exactly.
Jimmy wears sunglasses at night. We all learned that, and
a lot has happened in 14 episodes. And,
this is only 14.
This is the 14th episode.
All right, it's been a lot of fun. And, I know we're not going to get to this later, so I'm glad we got a few minutes before UFC talk.
You're wearing an Islanders jersey.
Of course I am.
I literally did not know this until this moment.
I put this on a while ago.
Oh.
Yeah.
I have nothing.
I'm glad you have Ron Burgundy socks.
I do have Ron Burgundy
and
socks.
Please don't try and do that because I don't want to.
No, I almost pulled my hamstring out when I did that.
Jimmy and Steve weekly weight loss program begins January 7th.
Speaking of which, you are listening to the Weekly Rant here. We got a couple of minutes left. I know we'll be taking a call pretty soon. There's a few other things. Of course, we have the Ravens winning the Super Bowl. The A-Rod suspension for 211 games. I'm not going to get into that because I'm sick and tired of everybody talking about steroids. Like you had mentioned, Manti Te'o's fake girlfriend. The NFL concussion lawsuit, $765 million. That's going to wear out pretty quickly. You have thousands of players that had sued the NFL over this. And they got kids who are growing up, and they're going to come out and they're going to play. They know the repercussions of playing football. Who knows? Maybe they'll get better equipment to prevent these concussions.
All right, I'm going to stop you from talking here. We actually have our guest on the air.
Excellent, fantastic.
From Amazing, we have Bobby Rajabi. Welcome back, Bobby.
Oh, I didn't, earn a ban from my last visit.
No, surprisingly you didn't. We actually wanted you back.
You guys got some low standards.
We know. Bobby, we have Jimmy on the show.
Bobby, how you doing? Yeah, that's what I'm here for. How you doing, Bobby? Good to talk to you again.
Good talking to you guys also. Just sitting at home watching this Oregon-Texas game.
Oh, how is it?
Well, Oregon's better than them. So the score indicates that.
Bobby, did you happen to catch the bowl game today between Navy and who was playing Navy today?
Middle Tennessee State.
Middle Tennessee. Who won that game?
Navy.
Damn it.
I live in California. I'm not watching a bowl game that starts at 9 a.m. here.
That's true because it did start at 12. But more importantly, what actually did start was back on 12/28. And Bobby, we're happy to have you here again to get some of your opinion on this UFC 168.
Well, happy to do it.
We'll start with the main event. We'll start with the real, or what most guys think was the real main event, the Ronda Rousey-Miesha Tate fight.
Did you enjoy it, Steve? I know you were watching. Did you enjoy the fight?
I absolutely enjoyed the fight. And, I feel bad for Miesha. When she came out, everyone was happy and excited. And when Ronda Rousey came out, it sounded like death coming to the door. And I got to give Miesha Tate credit because she really had a good fight in her. And it was the first person to take Rousey past the first round. But what do you feel is her future?
The advantage of having fought her before. You at least knew what she was getting into.
That's true. But what do you think with Tate's second loss to Rousey and her fifth loss overall? What do you think her future is in UFC?
Well, the thing is, Misha Tate, she fought Ronda Rousey a couple of years ago, and that was kind of the fight that sparked the interest in women's MMA. Because prior to that fight, Dana White, president of the UFC, said he was never going to bring in female fighting. But their first fight was so compelling, even though it was only about 4 minutes long, that they brought all the girls over. And after a second loss, yeah, it's very unlikely Misha's going to get a third crack at Ronda Rousey. But her star is, as bright as it's ever been right now. She's extremely popular. She had an autograph signing right after the fight, or the next day. She was mobbed by fans. You saw the reaction. People were chanting Misha throughout the night. So, time to get paid. She's not quitting.
That's true. And before we move on to the...
Personally, I was hoping for some more hair pulling and bra snapping.
I know you were. It's kind of like the Coors Light Twins fight in the commercial from Super Bowl Sunday a few years back.
I would love to have the Coors Light girls here on our show.
That's not happening. But
That's a real feminist, aren't you?
But I know you actually were studying up on this. Can you name for me some of the moves that Ronda Rousey threw on Misha Tate during her victory?
Oh, I am well prepared for this. Because let me tell you, I'm a fan of this sport, so I know the terminology: wrestling, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai. Ronda Rousey's so unique because not a lot of people, are sending out as much judo as she is. Obviously, she's got a bronze medal in it. But she busted out some Harigoshis, some Kasado Gakes, some Kuchiki Tauchis.
What?
Are you reading? Hold on, wait a second, Bobby. Are you reading this out of the Kama Sutra?
I don't have a response to that. That was pretty good.
Please don't boost his ego. It's already big enough. He's got his own name.
That's the thing. Misha, her problem in the fight was Misha's a wrestler, and a good one at that, but Ronda just was able to match anything she threw at her. Misha would go for a takedown, and rather than try to stuff the takedown, Ronda would just swing her hips and do hip toss after hip toss and just pretty much gave Misha no shot.
Yeah, I mean, everyone knows that Ronda's big move is the arm bar. And it seemed like every time that Misha tried to get down on the ground, she left her arm unprotected.
Yeah, she did well. She defended the armbar well a couple times, and Ronda later explained it seemed like Misha had learned how to put on the armbar, just like Ronda does. So she had better defense for it, but eventually she was just getting beat up, and she was kind of broken by that point. I think by the third round.
And if Misha didn't tap out, she was going to have her arm snap. Speaking of snapping of bones, that Anderson Silva Chris Weidman fight ended with Anderson Silva nastily shattering his shin on a block kick by Weidman.
Yeah, this is actually the second time this happened in the UFC, where someone will throw a leg kick, as Anderson did, and an opponent will check the kick, as it's called, which is raising and hoping the person will hit your knee so that it will hurt them and they will stop throwing leg kicks. And Ryan discussed how in the first fight, Anderson was being very successful with the leg kicks, and he made it a point that he had to avoid them. Because if not, Anderson Silva's leg kicks are pretty legendary. He could have messed them up. So he threw at him, and the way it was explained was that Anderson threw one, and he cracked his shin bone. Then he threw another one, and that's when the tibia and the tibia snapped right there.
Well, you know what? Actually, I think I may know exactly what you're talking about, because the first kick that he had, he immediately started not just jumping around, but really limping around as he was going from side to side, and that's when he thrusted forwards for his next kick. If what I saw is exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You know,
and it's a horrible sight to see, considering who we're talking about here. Because Anderson Silva is regarded as the greatest fighter ever, and he's 39 years old. And they just, there was just a conference call to discuss how long it would take for him to come back if he did want to come back.
No.
And they're saying it's 9 months till he can train again. And you got to wonder if he's ever going to come back with those, when he doesn't need to fight anymore.
Now, Bobby, you call Anderson Silva one of the greatest fighters, and there's nothing there to dispute that, except for the fact that where does that put Chris Weidman on the shelf? This is, like you said, this is the second time he had defeated him. Granted, this one fight was a gruesome loss. It should not have ended that way, But you know what? Wins are wins. And it's the second time he had defeated him. Chris Weidman, again, tell me if I'm wrong here. Chris Weidman is built like a, if you will, he's built like a brick shithouse. And that's why he's known as blocking those kicks. He's going to break someone's leg because his bones, his body structure is so strong. And to go ahead and defeat him twice, where does that really rank him below Silva?
Well, you're talking about here, Chris Weidman is someone that is just the new generation of fighter. And, you know, he was an All-American at Hofstra, I think 2 times. He placed 3rd and 6th in the NCAA tourney. And then he went and won some grappling tournaments afterwards. So you're talking about a very well-rounded fighter. And, you know, he did beat Anderson twice, but are you guys Breaking Bad fans by chance?
I've never seen an episode.
Well, okay, I'm just going to drop a quote from you. Just because a quote from it for you. Just because you shot Jesse James, it doesn't make you Jesse James.
That's true. That is true.
I mean, that's also the problem with, it's really unfortunate for Weidman also, because he won that first fight, but many people seem to got the impression after the first fight that the only reason he won is because Anderson was clowning and had his hands down and such. And you had the second fight where Anderson lost because his leg snapped in half, which is really unfortunate for Chris because he at no point was he losing either of these fights.
Never.
And in the first round of this fight on Saturday, he actually kind of dropped Anderson. When they showed the replay, he got him in a clinch through a good right to Anderson's temple, and it made him lose his senses a little bit there.
I thought he went unconscious after that hit. That was one shot. His eyes looked like a roll back in his head. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, Anderson recovering from that was impressive because Weidman got on top of him and started, you know, landing some elbows too. Because Weidman's a scary, scary cat, and
he's a Long Island native. That's one guy I don't want to see at a bar.
Well, I told you, he's the best hope for New York sports right now.
That is very true.
Actually, Bobby, I do have one thing to talk about here, especially with the outcome of this fight, being that Weidman had won. In the immediate future, from what I read, Chris Weidman is going to face Victor Belfort. Is that correct?
That's what it sounds like. And if anybody who's doubting Chris Weidman, if he goes out there and beats Vitor Belfort, who has just been destroying people for the last year. I mean, if Weidman goes out there and beats him, which I think he will personally, no one's going to doubt him.
And there was actually, I was reading a couple of stats about the fight in itself, and it actually reminded me a lot about golf. And there's no comparison between the two sports here.
Where are you going with this?
Yeah, you'll see where I'm going with this. As I'm pulling up a couple of things here. Now, Chris Weidman, his payout total was $400,000, and he was paid $200,000 just to appear in this fight, while Anderson Silva payout was $600,000 for appearing in this fight, which could have maxed out at $800,000 if he had won.
Well, see, right now when you look at when they release pay from the Athletic Commission, that is never the actual amount anybody's making. They have to report a certain amount to the Athletic Commission, but the UFC is paying people far more than what is listed. Because Anderson Silva is making money on the pay-per-views. The other champions are making money on the pay-per-views. It's estimated that Anderson probably makes around $5 or $6 million per pay-per-view.
Oh my God!
All right, for each time he's on a card. So Weidman, I'm assuming Weidman is champion. He probably a couple times he's been in the main event. He's probably getting some pay-per-view points, and this pay-per-view was huge. So yeah. he just got paid.
So Silva made upwards of $6 million last night?
Yeah, probably. Depends how many people want the pay-per-view.
Oh my
Jesus.
God.
You know, you want to start UFC fighting, Jimmy?
Oh my God. Please, can we start right now? Just give me the first punch.
No. I wouldn't get back up. That would be some fight, but I think Ed would probably be a good fighter right now. You know, let's talk a little bit about some of the undercard. Uriah Hall, after winning his fight, he was apologizing to the audience for winning so quickly. What the?
Well, this is the problem with Uriah. Uriah Hall's had a couple. Uriah Hall was on the UFC's reality program, The Ultimate Fighter, where he was destroying people, sending people to the hospital. And then he got to the UFC, and he's been fighting very timidly. And people started to question whether he has the mentality to do this. And after that fight on Saturday, people are still questioning it because it seems like Uriah doesn't seem to enjoy the hurt game. You know, he doesn't seem to enjoy doing damage to people, which, you know, makes him a decent person, but not the sociopath he needs to be a cage fighter.
Although the irony was he was praising his fans and Nelson Mandela, which I found to be incredible. That I never thought anyone would thank Nelson Mandela for his ability to fight. But you know,
that was very. He seems like an interesting guy. I'd like to hang out with him.
Yeah.
But it seems like he needs to toughen up a little bit because the opponent he got was kind of tailor made for him to be able to, you know, at least bring out some aggression, because Chris Leva just keeps walking forward. He doesn't care. Mm-hmm. And it eventually cost him.
And last question, because we gotta move on. We thank you again for coming back on again to talk UFC. Again, Bobby Rajabi from It's MMAzing. Which fight that we haven't talked about was the most impressive to you, and where do you see going forward? There was one guy, I forgot his name already, but he had one impressive fight as well.
Well, there's two takeaways that we're touching on. The first is that Travis Brown made a statement when he knocked out Josh Barnett in a minute. Because it is damn near impossible to knock out Josh Barnett. And Travis Brown unleashed a knee that I think broke Josh's nose, and then about 8 elbows that put him unconscious. Wow. And it seems like Travis Brown's going to be fighting Fabricio Verdum next year in order to get a shot at the heavyweight championship.
Wow. That was some knee.
Yeah. And the last thing is really, on a broader scope, the UFC lost Anderson Silva and George St. Pierre in the span of 2 weeks.
Yeah, how does that hurt? How does that hurt UFC?
Well, GSP is the most bankable pay-per-view star they have, and Anderson is the closest thing to MMA Jesus out there. They have neither of them anymore, so it's going to be a little bit of a trying time for the first half of this year, at least, until they can get, you know, some of the other champions back and get a few more stars out there. Because right now, the biggest stars in the UFC are Ronda Rousey and Johnny Bones Jones.
Bobby, you actually mentioned Ronda Rousey. Now, Ronda Rousey being booed, is that good for women's MMA, since people show emotion to the fight?
Yeah, I mean, I read a couple articles. People were trying to argue that Ronda not shaking Misha's hand was terrible PR savvy, which I thought that was an incredibly stupid statement to make. Because it doesn't matter if people like you or people hate you, as long as they're not indifferent. And at this point, everybody has a strong opinion about Ronda Rousey. And they either want to see her smash a girl or they want to see her get smashed.
Right. I actually have one final question for you, Bobby. I don't need to go back to it, but Anderson Silva, with that injury that he had, again, he's 38, going to be 39, like you had mentioned. Do you see him coming back?
It's hard to say, because I'm reading that Anderson Silva's in a hospital right now, and every time his doctor comes by to check on him, Anderson keeps asking, when can I train again? Wow. So, I mean, that's just being a fighter, but I think his wife might have to have a talk with him about what's going on. And if he does come back, it's not going to be a per title fight. It's going to be just because he wants to compete.
Sure. Fair enough. And Bobby, you know, I just want to thank you, because before the first time you came on a few weeks ago, Jimmy couldn't even spell UFC, and today
I can spell both UFC and MMA.
Wow. And that's very impressive. But today, Jimmy can actually have intelligent conversation about a sport he knew absolutely nothing about just a few weeks prior. So thank you. I really do appreciate it.
You know what, Steve? One of my favorite parts on Saturday is when you texted me and said that this was far more technical than you thought it was. That made me really happy. I like it when someone realizes, oh, Bobby's not a complete idiot for watching this.
I never said you were a complete idiot for watching this. I just never really.
Said that.
Yes, I'm sure many people have said that.
Your credentials speak for itself.
We thank you so much, and we thank you for being a friend of the show. And you'll definitely be back the next time big UFC fight's on. All right.
Do you guys mind if I bust out a cheap plug?
Absolutely. Go ahead, Bobby. Cheap it out.
Go check out our last episode of It's MMAzing Radio. We give out our end of the year awards. Spoiler alert, I give out Fighter of the Year to the guy who beat the greatest fighter ever twice.
Oh, so
check it out.
So Chris Weidman's winning your Fighter of the Year?
Me personally. The other guys had other people, which I respected, but it was hard for me to, I don't know, he knocked out God twice.
That's true.
What can I say to that?
You can't say too much. But, Bobby, thank you so much. Have a happy and healthy New Year, and we'll speak to you in 2014.
Thanks for having me, guys. Later.
That was Bobby Rajabi of It's Amazing. It's wonderful to have him on. He gives us time out of his busy life, calling in from California every episode that we get a chance to talk to him. So it's really fantastic that we built a relationship with him to have him on the show. Thanks again, Bobby. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you, Bobby. And we know it's almost 9 o'clock, but as a gift to you at the end of 2013, we'll give you a few extra minutes. We got some football to talk about as well as Jimmy's rant, so we'll go a few minutes over. If you want to join in the fun, 609-975-9689. Don't worry, you can cover that up. Not a big deal.
I know we had a few calls that we had missed during that.
Yeah, and we're sorry about that. We couldn't interrupt our guest during that time. If you do want to call back, like I said, 609-975-9689. But let's go into the AFC wildcard quickly. We got the San Diego Chargers and the Cincinnati Bengals and the Kansas City Chiefs and the Indianapolis Colts. 2 great games, I think.
They are great, and I'm going to take an upsetter here.
Really?
Yeah, I like the fact that the Chargers, I know they're going into Cincinnati. Cincinnati is undefeated this year. They're 8-0 at home.
They are?
And they'll be hosting this game. But I like the fact that the Chargers are coming in 4-0 in their last 4 games. They came in, they were 5-7. Hey, they needed to win out to make the playoffs and have miracles happen. They know what they did. They know what they have to do. Being in the playoffs is not new for Phillip Rivers. They haven't been there in 3 years. I like the Chargers to upset the Bengals in Cincinnati.
You know what's upsetting to you, Jimmy?
That.
So do I.
No, you don't.
I do.
Come on! The hell fun does that make this show?
It doesn't make it fun at all, but I really believe the San Diego Chargers are going to upset the Bengals too. I've been saying that all day. I think the Bengals are...
What? I never heard you say it once.
Not to you.
Oh, all right.
I don't talk to you.
No, I don't. And when you do talk to me, I don't listen to you.
We know. The other game, the Colts and the Chiefs.
Oh.
I'll let you take a nice swig.
Of water.
Yep. Dark water.
The Colts, we talked about the Colts about 2 or 3 episodes ago, how terrible they are and how inconsistent they've been. Well, guess what? The Chiefs, regardless of how good they've played all year, they're going to roll over the Colts. I know the Colts are home, but they're inconsistent. They really are. I think the Chiefs are going to just crush the Colts. Really.
This exact game was played 3 weeks ago. You remember what happened?
Colts won.
23-7.
I know.
It's gonna be the same. Colts are going to win.
Okay.
Absolutely. We're gonna have the Colts play the New England Patriots and the San Diego Chargers play the Broncos. Or you have the Chiefs playing the Patriots.
Yeah, you said we because I had the other way around.
Yeah, whatever. No, the Chiefs are still playing the Patriots. Reese.
Yep.
NFC. 49ers, Packers, Saints, Eagles.
I got the Packers over the 49ers at home, Lambeau Field. Doesn't get any better than that. Guess what? Who's back?
Rodgers!
Discount Yeah, Rodgers will take him down the field. Rodgers will show Kaepernick how to play playoff football in Lambeau Field. Although Eli Manning knows how to play football. Playoff football in Lambeau Field.
Wasn't this exact game played last year in the Kaepernick? It was Kaepernick's coming out party.
And Kaepernick won.
Yeah. So, I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to be teaching anyone anything about how to play football.
Teach him how to come back.
Yeah, whatever. Kaepernick's not coming back from anything. He's been playing all year. He's been fine.
Bottom line, who do you have winning this game?
The 49ers.
What?
Yeah.
You told me Packers.
I lied.
Yes. I thought I was building up to something there.
Nope.
Like, hey, we agree on 2 for once.
Nope, we don't agree on that one. The 49ers are a better team than the Packers. And you know what? If the Packers were playing any defense other than the Bears last week, they would have lost that game. Come on.
And I said it. I said it was going to be a great game one way or another. And I said the Bears are going to come out and win that game.
Mm-hmm.
Bears look terrible on defense.
Brutal.
Oh, my God.
Just brutal.
Oh, great game to watch.
Absolutely.
If you weren't cheering for either team.
Last but not least, we have the Saints and the Eagles.
Yeah, I got the Eagles.
I do too. Saints can't win on the road, and the Eagles are hot.
I spoke to our friend Ed about this before the show, and he was adamant. Ed, who do you think's going to win the Eagles? Saints. Eagles. He said the Eagles right away.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa, slow down there. Slow down. Because I needed to think about this for a minute. I know the Saints were on the road. I know they're on the road. They suck on the road. but it's Philadelphia. And I also know that Foles is now 29 touchdowns and 2 interceptions on the year.
Which one hell of a year.
Oh, my God. He finished 3rd in the QBR ratings, which is nothing. It's a BS stat, just like the closers.
Yep.
There it is.
I just dinged you.
Yeah, that's right. That's troubling. Let's get this out of here. Eagles.
I agree. Nothing
more to say.
Yeah. Which will lead us to have the Eagles play the Panthers, and you have the Packers playing the Seahawks, and I have the Niners and the Seahawks in one hell of a game for the NFC divisional round. Let's go through Super Bowl picks.
Yeah.
What do you have?
I hate to say it, but I got to go favorites. Broncos and Seahawks.
Who wins?
Who do you have in the Super Bowl? Because I got my highlighter here. I haven't chosen yet.
Okay.
I know who I'm going to choose.
So on August 22nd...
To prove, before you talk, and before it's released, that's who I'm choosing.
Okay. Well, you're going to hate me.
Wait. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Backed away from that. Not because what you just said, but it's who I'm choosing.
On August 22nd, our executive producer, Ed, and I were sitting at Tap and Barrel, and we're like, you know what? Let's make predictions for the year. So we made our predictions. Picked at all the playoffs, and who was going to win the Super Bowl and all that good stuff. I happened to get 5 out of 6 in the AFC. I picked the Chiefs to win the wild card, so I'm proud of myself. I'll pat myself on the back on
Can I
that.
make you time out?
Sure.
Being that we're on the topic of the Super Bowl here, where did our picks come into play from December 1st, where we were right and wrong for who was going to make the playoffs?
Oh, we actually tied.
We did.
Because we both got our AFC wrong, and then...
Got the NFC right.
And we got the NFC right, even though we both picked
In
Arizona
a way,
and we were wrong.
yeah,
I picked San Fran, you picked Carolina. So, yeah, we were both right.
And I had Carolina as the wild card, but they still
They made the playoffs. And I gave it to you. I gave you the win.
Oh, thanks.
No problem. I'm nice to you. But, so we're sitting there, and I said that the Broncos were going to beat the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. And I said this on August 22nd. Ed can back me up, and so can my phone notes, because I saved it.
Great.
I know. Isn't that great?
You do something right.
I know. And, Ed actually picked the Broncos over the 49ers, if I'm not mistaken. And he's shaking his head yes in the audience as he's throwing Wilson up in the air. So I'm going with the Broncos over the Seahawks. As much as people say I'm going too much with chalk, I'm going with the number 1 season. That hasn't happened in a long time. I can't change my picks now. So Broncos over Seahawks in the Super Bowl.
You have Broncos over the Seahawks?
Yes.
Furthermore, a reason why I will take the Seahawks to win it.
That's just one of your arguments saying, I have no reason to back this up, but I'm going this way.
Best defense.
Yep. It's a good offense, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So is the Broncos.
Oh, never mind.
Broncos don't have a great defense.
They don't. Well, we'll move on.
Can we bet on this?
Sure. What do you want to bet?
Get a punch in the face when
No.
the Seahawks win?
No. Do I wear my Yashin jersey again? Because that really worked out.
Yeah! Let's do this.
Okay.
Yashin Plaxico.
Deal.
Done.
So what happens if none of our teams make the Super Bowl? And this is if the Broncos beat the Seahawks or if the Broncos win in general?
If this doesn't happen, you win the Plaxico jersey.
What?
You have to wear the Plaxico jersey.
If that doesn't happen at all?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Speaking of competition here, the weight loss program.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
The weight loss program, we're going to open that up on January 7th. Please give us your call-ins, give us your emails. Let us know who wants to get involved. In order to win any sort of a prize whatsoever that we will be giving out, you'll have to either send in some sort of a video footage of what your weigh-in is going to be if you're not going to appear on the show. Otherwise, you'll have to be live on the show when the process is over. Are we going to do 30 days or 60 days?
What do you want to do?
I'm a fat bastard. I want to do 60 days.
Okay.
60 days it is. It's going to start from January 7th.
And go through March 7th. 60 days.
Great math. March 7th.
It's actually not 60 days. It's a little less, but that's okay.
Either way, I can party hard on St. Patty's Day. That's
Shit,
awesome.
Hoboken St. Patrick's Day is 5 days before.
Oh, look at that. Love it.
Water
60
weight.
days. We will take this serious. The prizes will not go to one of us if we win, which we will not.
What?
We're not going to win it.
I'm going to win.
No, you're not.
Of course I am.
One of our fans going to win it.
Well,
What fans?
we're going to rig it. But if you want to join, Jimmy's Rants at gmail.com, or you can call and leave a voicemail on 609-975-9689. That's 609-975-9689, or Jimmy's Rants at gmail.com. In your voice message, please leave your name and email address so we can contact you with the rules.
Yeah, so again, January 7th, that's when it's going to be. If we don't hear from you, you're not involved. The prize will be determined next episode. We'll let you know what it's going to be then. We'll think about it.
All right, so.
Oh, you saw what it's going to be. You jackass. You remember what I was talking about.
I'm sorry. It's 2013. It's almost the end of the year. And with that, let's go to Jimmy for our last Jimmy's Rant of 2013. Take it away, Jimmy.
So this is the best time of the year for all the gyms, whether it be Planet Fitness, Blink, the one that I go to, but I don't go to it, but I signed up to it. I do.
I don't even know what the hell that means.
I do, but stop talking to me.
Okay.
Gold's Gym, all these gyms out there, everybody says, I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to lose weight. Speaking of which, we're doing this weight loss program as a New Year's resolution.
No, I just want to do a competition.
Sphincter muscle. I'm the one talking here. So.
What the fuck is going on?
Damn it! Yeah, baby! Got it! Where's the thirdness? Oh. Love it! It's your asshole muscle. So.
That's not what I asked.
Anyways, I don't know what you're going to ask. I don't want to know. Anyways, so the rant here is going to be, I don't want to have to go on Facebook and see everybody at 12:01 freaking a.m. start posting their New Year's freaking resolutions. Keep it to yourself. No one gives a shit about you. They're not jotting it down, keeping a personal file. Oh, Judy from down the block, 4 houses down, is going to have this. Let me check up on her in 2 weeks. No one freaking cares. Do a resolution for yourself. Keep it to yourself. Guess what? The best part of it is when you actually succeed and do it, it's your resolution. You can have pride for yourself. Where are you going?
Don't worry. Keep talking.
So there's New Year's resolutions. If you want to make one and a nice one, that's cool. That's great. That's wonderful. Otherwise, keep it to yourself because everybody has the same ones. Otherwise, you get the people that says, oh, you know what? I'm going to answer my texts more often now. I'm going to hang out with my friends more often. You know what? The most important thing of the year you should have, that everybody should have as a New Year's resolution, is your family. Be with your family. Focus on your job. If you don't have one, go out there. Try and get some resumes out there. Do something to make yourself better. Don't go off and tell your friends what the hell you're going to do because no one freaking cares. Do something for yourself because thinking about yourself and doing something for yourself is most important. Otherwise, giving out to people. Just like that golfer did from Calgary.
What's your New Year's resolution, Jimmy?
No one cares! Exactly. Exactly. I was going to say, actually going through this weight loss program for the weekly rant. Why did you give me this?
Here you go. I'm sorry. Anyway.
No, you can't see it. Give me that. And you give me a purple one.
Yeah, that was planned.
Oh, man.
Anyway, you know, it's been a great 2013, and we just want to thank everyone for all the support they've given. Thank you, Bobby Rajavi, for all your help yet again on another great guest spot. We look forward to having you in 2013.
I'm not laying you.
Good, because that'd just be weird. I know we're over time, so thank you all for listening to us. Thank you to our audience, Ed, Kate, and Mario, for listening to us. Happy New Year, and we'll see you in 2014 for Weekly Rant with Jimmy. I'm Steve. Have a great night, everybody.
That's terrible. Oh, man.